Welcome to the Daily Gospel of John. I'm going to look at verse 67 and 68 of John 6 this evening. You do not want to leave too, do you? Jesus asked the 12. Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. That very verse has been the bottom line bedrock for me several times when I felt like I was in a pit of despair because it didn't seem like this whole Christianity thing was working for me too well at dark times, tough and confusing times. Lord, where else can I go? Let's really face it. There's no one else. None of the other religions, the philosophies, they just confuse you more. Scientists can tell you some things about things, but they can't tell you the big meaning of why we're here and where we go when we die. And bottom line, it came down to, Lord, to whom shall I go? You alone have the words of eternal life. And it's wise to ask, to whom shall I go? Peter was smart in asking that. It's because the answer isn't going to be found in some force out there in the universe. Forces don't have answers. It's not going to come from some rock or some statue. Statues are nothing. We need, to whom shall we go? And the whom is Jesus. There is no other Jesus. People talk about other religious leaders. I see no one that can hold a candle to King Jesus, to his morality, to his love, to his teachings, to his life, to the fact that he fulfilled prophecy, that we've set our very calendars by his life. There is no other Messiah. The spiritual leaders of the day for Peter, they were intelligent men, and some, yes, some were connected with God. Many were corrupt, as the prophets foretold and spoke about over and over and over again through the Old Testament. We see in Isaiah, where, I believe Jeremiah the prophet, it says, His people are near to me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They teach as the commandment of God's mere traditions of men. And Jesus confronted them on that. Because what was happening is that many rabbis had no heart connect with God, but had all these laws in their heads. And the list of laws grew longer and longer each generation. And when the rabbi spoke, this rabbi would quote that rabbi who quoted another rabbi from this school of rabbis who differed with this group of rabbis over here. And then the Sadducees differed with all of these Hasidim. And so there was all this stuff. And all of them were giving their opinions about what Moses said from what God said to Moses. And here comes Jesus on the scene and says, before Abraham was, I am. I'm the I am that Moses spoke with at the burning bush. I am the Son of God, Messiah, the Holy One, the one who created this world. And I have answers. See, I don't just talk about what heaven might be like or whether it exists. I came from there. I know. I know what my Father's will is. He's my Father, and I've come to speak His words. And He spoke with authority. And over again, the crowds recognized that. Example, in Matthew 7, we see, when Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at His teaching, because He taught one as one who had authority, and not as their teachers of the law. Mark 1, the people were also amazed that they asked each other, what is this, a new teaching and with authority? Jesus is the one who said, all authority in heaven and on earth is given to me. And His adversaries couldn't deny what He said. They ended up forcibly having to have Him killed on a cross. So He's the one that has the words of eternal life. Other spiritual leaders may say, we think this is the path to get to heaven. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Other spiritual leaders talk about different ways to find spiritual fulfillment. Jesus said, if anyone drinks the water I give him, he will never thirst again. Indeed, the water I give him will become in him a spring of water welling up to eternal life. Jesus said, whoever hears my word and believes Him who sent me has eternal life. He will not be condemned. He's crossed over from death to life. He said, I am the very bread of life. He said, I am life itself. I'm the giver and source of life. So there's a difference in Jesus than every other leader. This is the one that we'll get to later in John, who told his adversaries and all who heard him repeatedly, "You will kill me, and on the third day I will rise." And he did. And that's how Christianity launched. And that's where these band of intimidated, somewhat uneducated Jewish followers of Jesus Messiah were all emboldened to the point of almost to a person being willing to die based on the testimony that they had seen the risen Christ, that he did rise from the dead, and his enemies couldn't disprove him. So to whom shall we go? Jesus alone has the words of eternal life. He's the Messiah. He's the King. Let's give him the honor he deserves. Let's worship and serve him. God bless.